In the 26th week of communication, we saw values, narratives, and the use of transmedia communication. A lot of conference with smart and successful people. Also, we went to educational workshops and saw a documentary and a performance. The performance, named El Dilema, was written by Jorge Alberto González. The story is about two journalists who tell facts of their work every day. Leticia Urbina, directress of the performance company Society of Dead Journalists, said why is important a theater in communication.
Parecida a un medio de comunicación en masas fue el teatro. Antes de que la prensa, antes que la radio, que la televisión, tuvimos teatro y era donde se reunían grandes multitudes para presenciar un mensaje.
Aunado a ello, la directora también habló acerca de su participación en la 26ª Semana de la Comunicación.
En cuanto a la Semana de la Comunicación, esta obra fue escrita por un periodista veracruzano que conoce perfectamente el tema de los asesinatos de periodistas. De hecho, todos los datos duros que se sueltan en la obra son reales. O sea, cuando se menciona el nombre de tal periodista que fue decapitado, etcétera, son hechos reales. Creo que es importante hablarlo, aunque no todo el periodismo es así de terrible, no todo el periodismo tiene esta vertiente tan riesgosa. Sí hay que decirlo porque finalmente no es lo deseable que haya uno solo, ya no digamos ciento y pico, un solo periodista asesinado por su lado. Por eso creo que es bien importante que presentemos este tipo de trabajos.
A big crowd can feel for see a performance like in media. Also, she told about her participation in Communication Weeks. The script of the performance was right because it's important to show this kind of projects in this week. This performance was shown in the Cámara Theater inside of Facultad de Estudios Superiores Acatlán at 18 o'clock on April 10. Besides, we were in the educational workshop How to Deal with a False Note by Professor José Luis López in the Humanities Computer Room in the building to support teaching. This educational workshop had limited places, only 20 guys, students and teachers. In 3 hours, the Professor López talked about the communicative phenomenon that brings fake news. It's important to have a good eye and understanding of the topics and also being more objective and finding coherence, as well as be smart people, not to give the first impression. One of the reasons that brings this type of fake news is the fact that today the technology is used more for search information than the newspaper or real websites of news. The websites also post this material in a direct link for the marketing business. This type of courses is certainly a support of the learning of future journalists, as well as the idea of having a more critical judgment in what we read.
Gustavo Prado was presented with great success at the FES Acatlán to present the magisterial conference Singularidad Tecnológica. Prado is a curator, lecturer, and Mexican researcher known mainly for his book Mextilo. Gustavo Prado has a bachelor's degree in culture science at the Cloister University of Sor Juana and studies in visual arts and graphic design at the National School of Painting, Sculpture and Engraving La Esmeralda, as well as a master's degree at the Ibero-American University. His work, Mextilo, emerged in 2005 to be title of a Mexican fashion photography expo. He is currently the boss or commander, as he says, of the Trendo Point MX Mexican Trending Agency, where he explains what the public needs in today's world and gives advice to companies to trust on. At the conference, Gustavo gave an account of how the internet emerged as well as how fashion was in the last century. Also, how the world is evolving through technology. I mentioned that nobody in the world can die of hunger because if you know how to do something, you can sell it like that, as he sells tendencies. Let's listen a little bit about what the conference was like. It should be noted that he can talk about anything. At the end, but the conference it was very accessible to be interviewed by some colleges in the communication career as well as taking pictures. This is the opinion of a communication student. This is the week of communication. Rocio is a communologist who has worked for 8 years in sports journalism, especially soccer. She has been a radio announcer and host of sports programs in 2009. She created the blog of Pamboleras. She has experience in political journalism and has done work in image design and particularly interested in the empowerment of women. She said that when she started in this medium, it was almost more for men. Women did not appear in sports notes, but that stopped her and began to give notes of football, but from the stands of the stadiums was mixed among the people where several women began to identify with her, that she likes the sporting world, and that was how she began to enter more into the world of football, and of course, other sports. But as she mentions, the female Gold Cup is not widely used as the Cup of the World in men's soccer, so she tries to inform as much as she can in the aspect. In each site of Pamboleras is a site focused on providing information on women's soccer as well as being a space that offers women journalists the opportunity to make their way in the sports world. Pamboleras has received a grant from the Department of the United States within the framework of the Economic Empowerment Program for Women in the area of sports and women. He also commented that he has a television program called Pamboleras through the signal of Cameo Network that show in video the most emotional stories about women's role in soccer regardless of their role. And that is how she invites for women to enter the world of sports either through journalism or by practicing it. Ruben is a professor at the FES Aragon and at the Ibero-American University, addicted to the social media, mastering communication and internet scholar. He says always have the correct answer. Well, he is always informed and at the same time he informs about some news that is happening. He reiterated his support for Rocio Yelitsa because he said that it was not important if it was a man or woman who gave a sports or political note, etc.